Are you kidding me? The guy asked for something spooky.
Is it a gun that sucks balls?
I'm the farting demon in this relationship.
I'd be an awesome rich person.
You're both just an embarrassment.
God, I'm awesome.
We're talking Tom Hanks and his vehicle.
Yeah, I had my finger in my mouth waiting for you to finish.
You gotta get 4 balls or something.
Like dick piercings?
No, you know damn well I'm fucking that demon.
Still sexy. How could that be close and not be
Yeah,
right?
just kill some random dude.
His wishes.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Plotty Time, the podcast where we three gamers discuss video game stories in detail and necessary and appropriate backlash. On one side of the table, we have Chump Slap.
I'm sitting in an empty room, laughing my ass off to trick my dead self that I had a great life.
On the other side of the table is Dr. Syintist.
Who'll come first on the wedding night? The wedding night.
My name is Poppascotch, and as I always say, in 10 years, my kid's going to be 9. And if he's anything like me, he's going to need braces for his legs because his dick's so big. Welcome to Plotty Time.
I did that one already.
No way! Aw. Well, that's another chance for the fans to send in for, I don't know, something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Bubble tape. We'll send him a thing of bubble tape.
Oh, yeah, for anybody.
Absolutely. So let's just get right into it. Start with Dr. Syintist. What have you been playing? What have you been watching? What have you been doing? What's going on with you?
What have I been watching? Not a whole hell of a lot, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I did watch the new Prey movie
Oh,
on Hulu.
Yeah, me too.
me too.
It's all right. I wasn't a huge fan of Predators anyway, or any of the movies, but
Why'd you watch it?
I don't know. It was something to watch.
Something to watch. Fair enough.
I love the Predator movies, except for...
Pray.
I love Prey. I thought Prey was great. I liked it a lot
was pretty
better
good.
than the AVP ones.
Yeah, fair.
Do you actually consider those Aliens movies or Predator movies?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, there's a predator in it.
Oh, good point. Good choice.
I completely forgot that there was a Predator movie like 3 years ago
Was there?
that Robert Rodriguez did, and it wasn't good, and I saw it, and I don't remember anything about it.
I didn't even know it existed.
What's it called?
I think it's just Predators.
Predators.
I think so. Olivia Munn's in it, and Keegan-Michael Key's in it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. I don't know how it's not good with... There's other people in it too as well, but...
Is that the one they go to their planet?
No, that's the one with, what's his name? The English patient.
I have no idea what you're talking
All
about.
right, well, we're getting in. Sorry,
That's the one where they go and they become... And it turns out they're all like prolific killers. That one?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not that one. This was a different one.
I'm lost, and it's me talking.
Sorry, I was getting on my Predator horse. You go ahead.
I started rewatching Warehouse 13. If I'm sure none of you.
Yeah, still never seen it, but I hear good things.
Yeah, it is good.
How many seasons is that show?
5.
Oh, okay.
It's like The Expanse. You can knock it out.
I'd watch it's not like The Expanse because I've seen them before, so I don't have to listen to them. I can just have them on in the background. But it's a fantastic show. I really like it. It's kind of like, well, I was gonna say it's kind of like Haven, but it's not really.
It's its own thing.
Yeah,
It's like an X-Files, but
it's a sci-fi fantasy type thing like Haven was.
Okay.
Really?
Is it like the clips I see and the stuff like that? It looks like it's more like youth centric. Like it's very rated G.
young adult-ish.
Yeah. Am I wrong about that?
I mean, it's
or is
just like any other show that was on, I think, it was
Network
sci-fi.
television.
Yeah.
just cable appropriate type stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's people die all the time, but they don't really show it. It's not gory.
It's not gory and there's no curse words.
Yeah,
Oh well, okay,
Who wants to see it?
right?
Just kidding.
I do.
All right.
Okay.
And I finished up Sandman on Netflix.
Oh yeah, how was it? How do you
Fantastic.
feel about it?
Yeah, I looked at it. There's an 11th episode, which is kind of just like a bonus thing that doesn't have anything to do with the 10 major episodes. But I'm hoping they get made for second season. But
Yeah, but who knows, man?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, so.
Nothing makes sense anymore as streaming now that whatever HBO Max is doing over there.
yeah, I haven't even tried to figure it out.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But
I don't get it.
so good stuff is what you're saying?
Yeah. If you enjoyed the comics, you'll love it. If you didn't read the comics, you'll probably still like it.
Oh, cool. Cool.
What did I play? I finished up Chris Tales, which I'm sure neither of you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Like as a game, or are you talking about it?
Both.
No, I don't. You're right. I don't know why I asked that question. You're right.
It's just a game where you play like a young kid, and apparently you have time powers, and you can, when you're fighting enemies, you can like make them
Oh,
younger,
you can make them older
again,
and younger,
you
yeah.
go through all of it, and
Yeah.
it was all right. As far as like a small indie game, the story was pretty good. Gameplay was fun. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Okay.
Kind of long. I don't No, I didn't platinum it because there was one annoying trophy.
Just one?
Yeah.
You have to beat it in 5 hours?
No, there's one type of enemy, which, I mean, it's a classic fantasy enemy, a slime. And there's like 6 different versions in the game, and there's a trophy for beating 20 of each of them.
Just farming shit.
Yeah, I would have to farm. One is like a rare spawn, and it, like every 3 turns it changes what it is. So like it's a white slime, but if you fight it, it can turn itself into a red slime, and if you kill it while it's a red slime, it doesn't count towards the white slime thing.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so you'd have to wait until it turns back to the white slime and it changes.
Boo.
Yeah, I thought, F this. I ain't Poppascotch.
Yeah, true. You're not.
So true.
Then I downloaded 20 games and spent 3 hours just getting 30 platinums like Poppascotch. No, I didn't do that.
Nah, damn it. I thought this was going to be a contest this year.
I don't know. We'll see how close I am by the end of the year. Maybe at the end I'll just go on a rampage.
Maybe.
Take off of work.
I don't remember what the beginning of the year ones, though, were. Do you have the picture?
Yes, I do.
You have to send it to me so we can keep an interesting December.
Oh, December to remember.
Well, I mean, the only way I have a chance is if you don't know how close you are, or how far ahead you are of me, because you're just going to play a whole bunch of stupid games like that, and then I can't keep up.
Well, yeah. That's how you win things.
Just give me this year. You won the last 2. Just give me one.
Yeah, but it was a double or nothing.
Oh, that's right. It was.
I don't even remember what the first one was. Here, I'll tell it to you now. You started the year with 11,107, and I think you're at like almost 13,000 this year.
22.
That'd be sick. No, it's not that crazy.
No, he's close to like 1,500 trophies so far this year or something.
I'm at 12,626.
Yeah, you got 1,500 so far.
Shit's
That's
weak.
what cool guys do.
Yeah, and I'm about
Shit's weak? Is that what you just said?
I'm about 700 behind him.
Uh-oh.
What was your original number?
13,996. I don't know what I have now.
He just subtracted 2,000.
Maybe I have 1,000.
That's great. Yeah, I knew just overall numbers, you're still well ahead of me.
Yeah, you're still
You've made a huge dent so far.
freak.
That's because I've been cheating. Or, I wouldn't say cheating, but it's definitely not honest.
Yeah, it's as honest as getting any trophy is.
Hey, you played the games,
Yeah,
man.
why don't you tell us what other bullshit you did this week, Poppascotch, while you were trying to farm platinums?
Well, thanks for asking. Might as well start with games while we're talking about it. I farmed 94 No, I'm kidding. I didn't farm any
Close.
platinums. I've just been fucking chipping away at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's not drawing you in.
I don't know how I feel about it. I want to finish it before I have like a concrete view of it.
Does the gameplay get repetitive?
Yeah, it's pretty repetitive. Like you play as Peter Quill, and that's the only person you ever play as. So you have this dynamic team, but you only ever use one of them. And then part of your fights, you can select one of your teammates and then have them do a certain out of 4 moves, and then they'll attack somebody with that move, and you just are basically controlling the whole team.
Yeah, like Mass Effect. I think we had this conversation before.
Yeah, it's like you're quarterbacking, basically. And
Sounds dumb.
it's fun. Like, it works great. It sounds fantastic. It looks real good. It's just like there's so much dialogue and so much talking, and then there's a fight, and then there's dialogue and walking and talking, and then there's a fight, and there's dialogue and walking and talking.
So like
and
an
you're
RPG?
always with the team. But so far, there's never been a moment where you're like separated or just with one person.
Yeah.
It's always all of you, which I guess isn't bad. I don't know. I gotta play it, finish it up, and then
Right on.
we'll see how I feel about it.
Right.
But that's all I really play. I mean, I played some Call of Duty Zombies, but that doesn't count. We're past that.
Yeah, that's over with.
So what did I watch? Well, we discussed Prey, so I really liked that. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to start with the movie I hated the most this week, which was, have you guys seen The Field Guide to Evil?
Oh, I got like halfway through it.
Yeah, it was not good. I thought it'd be an interesting look at like different countries' version of horror, because it's like an anthology movie.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it was just the tones. I'm not saying the tones all have to be the same, but they were so wildly different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I didn't care for it.
I don't think the story's, I don't know. I didn't watch half of it, so the first half kind of turned me off, so I can't even imagine.
That's fine. It was more of the same. I understand. I completely understand turning it off halfway through. But I also watched another movie on Netflix that I really did not care for, and it's getting really positive reviews. I watched Day Shift with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've wanted to watch
almost
that.
watched that.
I almost did it too.
I really didn't like it, like at all.
You just hate Jamie Foxx.
Well, no, I don't hate Jamie. No, Jamie Foxx is good in it. The fight scenes are awesome. Like, they're really good because the guy that directed it was a former stuntman. So he fucking nailed that. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
But other than that, like, it's all about Jamie Foxx being like a pool guy by day and a vampire hunter by night.
Right.
And he needs to get money, and this whole motivation is he's like estranged from his wife, and he has a little girl, and she's like, look, we're estranged. I'm thinking about moving back to Florida because they're in California.
Mm-hmm.
And with my parents, and she's like, we don't have the tuition for school. We don't have money for her braces. So it was like $8,000 or something like that. And she's like, look, I guess we're moving to Florida. I don't know what else to do. And he's like, give me a week to get the money. And she's like, okay.
Okay.
Like, you were just like, she was fixing up the house to sell it. And she made this decision to move to Florida. And she's like, all right, well, if you get the money, then everything's fine.
If you get the money, we just put this money into this house. And so it's a nicer house now. So
yeah, that was not even close to the dumbest part of the whole thing. Like,
right.
you could make money by ripping out vampire fangs and selling them.
Makes sense.
And there's like different types of vampires. Like, there's a type that can be decapitated, but it won't die. It just puts its head back on, which is kind of cool. I'm telling you guys cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And somehow this movie was still very bad because it turned into a buddy cop movie like halfway through.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't watch it.
And like the bumbling straight guy who's supposed to be an idiot and the joke is he pees his pants every time there's a vampire anywhere near him is Dave Franco.
Yeah. That's what kind of,
He oozes like jock confidence, and he's supposed to be like this timid office guy. It didn't work. Didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I didn't care for the movie at all. I really liked the world it was set in. I'd like to see more of that, but for the most part, it was really dumb. Speaking of dumb, I watched Slacks.
Oh, you thought it was dumb?
No, it's fucking amazing. I mean, I thought it was dumb, but in the best way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, it was a lot of fun. It was real dumb, but it was great. I thought it was great. I will watch that again someday.
Right? How many times do you get to see pants kill somebody?
Yeah, like brutally kill somebody. Like, it was gnarly. Like, it got teeth and ate somebody. It was fucking sick.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
It was great. And then I watched Grabbers. That was the other thing I watched.
Fantastic,
snap.
right?
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Right?
Like, I saw the trailer and I'm like, this will be okay. And then I watched it, I'm like, that was pretty good. But that's all I watched and played. How about you there, Sir Chump Slap?
What's up?
What are you playing, watching, doing? What's going on with you?
Well, let's see. Didn't play much. Finished Stray.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. By the
How
end
was
of it, I was just like, all right, let's get it over with. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's only so many things a cat can do.
I don't believe that's true.
How long was it? Like, how long is this campaign we're talking here?
Well, I put 10 hours into it, and a lot of that was just walking around, doing nothing,
Gotcha.
and restarting and playing shit over again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, probably 8 hours. Actually, I think there's a trophy to beat it in 5 or something. So,
Gotcha. 8 hours, though, and it still felt long?
I don't know. I was just bored with it by the end. It's just more of the same. You don't really change scenery. But then the very end was cool when you get outside. But, you know.
And you become a cat god?
No, you just
Oh.
go back to your family. Or you try. Well, that's the whole idea, just to go back outside.
To your cat family or your...
Yeah, you're just hanging out with a cat family in the beginning, and then you fall.
Oh.
And you fall into this fucking underground building area. I don't know. It's pretty good. I don't know. Give it a play. It doesn't take much time at all. So.
And it's free. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
why not?
But I watched some movies.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
I watched Prey.
Yep.
I
Yep.
didn't like it. I mean, it was okay, but the whole idea, why did the Predator only have that one weapon? And yeah, pretty much why that.
So I think, not to play Predator or Prey apologist here, but I think it was because they were still evolving with
Yeah, I figured
the
that
same
was. I
timeline
was
as
like,
people.
they want to have equal footing on the weapons, maybe.
Yeah, that's why they turn invisible.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, but they're invisible, so it's stupid.
And it was weird seeing like the 3 laser dot sights, but then throwing arrows.
Bolts, yeah.
Maybe it was the Predators have had guns, they've had all this stuff, but they're like, well, it's not really an even fight if we give you lasers and shit. So
Yeah, but but it's an even fight to be invisible.
yeah, you're right. That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Also, if that's the case and the Predator race is evolving and doesn't have the same technology we do in later Predator movies, then you pretty much have to ignore Alien versus Predator,
Yeah.
like entirely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It didn't make any sense. And then it all comes down to, oh, she's invisible because she took that fucking drug.
The flower drug, yeah.
It's all about being stealthy. Wow. Great. Fucking whatever, dude.
Like I said, it was just as good as every other Predator movie.
What are you talking about? Oh, you might be right. Whatever.
Hey, I still loved it, but hey, to each their own.
You thought it was just as good as every other Predator movie, too.
I thought it was better than Predator 2, but not Predator 1.
Fair.
I mean, Predator 1. Jesus
Predator
Christ,
1,
that's
yeah.
a classic.
I mean, it's okay. Anyway.
It is Jesse Ventura in it. How could it be bad?
Yeah. It's two future governors, man.
What are the odds?
It's crazy.
I wonder how many movies have that in.
No, I don't think there are any others.
It'll have to be something with Ronald Reagan or somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But then I watched something we brought up a couple episodes ago, Jury Duty.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking sucked. Don't even.
It's no Biodome.
No. Biodome's way better. dude.
I assumed that.
I remember seeing it when it came out when I was 13 and being like, that was pretty good. So I can't imagine what I'd think now if I watched it again. I'd rather watch In the Army Now because at least that has Lori Petty in it.
Yeah, this one had fucking. There was one other.
Samuel L. Jackson.
No, there was another name.
Michael
Tia
Crichton.
Carrera.
Oh, from Wayne's World?
That sounds
Yeah,
about right.
yeah. I think that was her.
From Wayne's World fame.
But anyway, to get that taste out of my mouth, I had to watch My Cousin Vinny. A way better courtroom comedy.
Won one more Oscar.
Sure did.
Fucking A, man. And then I watched, let's see, Sonic 2, the new Sonic movie.
I didn't see either of them. How are they?
They're not terrible. I like them because Benny Schwa does the voices of Sonic.
Sure.
So I guess
Benny Schwa.
that's probably, if he didn't do the voice, I don't know if I'd watch him.
There's no way you would have.
No. But then this one, Knuckles is in it, and he's voiced by Idris Elba. It didn't make it fucking.
That's an interesting choice.
I thought it was a terrible choice. I was like, that's fucking stupid. I don't want to watch another Sonic movie ever again.
Elba.
Yeah.
See, in my mind, Knuckles was always like, yeah, a sidekick.
No,
but
you
if you
think
ever
of
ask
Tails.
me, well, there's also Tails, but
Yeah, oh yeah. I guess he does become a sidekick at the end, but he's the enemy in the beginning.
I just,
It doesn't fit. It didn't work. You know what I mean?
If you would ask me right now if Knuckles' voice is supposed to be high or supposed to be low, I don't think in a billion years I'd pick a low voice.
Really?
Ever.
I would think that would be my first choice.
I'd be lower than Benny Schwa, but
I'd have Gilbert Gottfried as Sonic.
I love it.
Maybe I'm just getting it confused with Tails. Who knows?
Yeah, Tails is like really high pitch, you know?
Yeah.
But then Knuckles, the pink one,
All right. Let's do our cast here. I want Gilbert Gottfried to do Sonic.
I'm sold.
I want the guy who was
no,
Booger to do Tails. What's his name? Curtis Armstrong.
All right.
And for Knuckles, I want it to be. This is
Say
a
it.
tough one.
Say it. I know. Come on. Let me send it
Luis
to you. in my brain.
Guzman.
Oh, that was good, but I was going to say the other one you always say. Oh my God, I just lost it.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh.
He's dead.
Is he?
He's not
I
dead.
don't know.
He just directed a movie.
You're always telling me people are dead. I'm like, really? I don't want to Google it, so I'll just take your word for it.
I mean, I'm not staring at the news all the time. I don't know. Maybe he did.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what
He's
the
still
fuck's
out
going
there.
on.
Still kicking. He's 60 years old. Not even that old.
Yeah, that would be a good Bobcat Goldthwait, Booger, and I can't remember who I had Sonic now.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert
Gottfried.
Gottfried, come on.
That's
All
a
right.
ridiculous voice cast. Absolutely ridiculous.
That would be great.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. But I watched Jumper too, but, you know,
That's a fun sometimes movie.
it was okay. It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, I mean, you don't watch it for it to make sense.
Well, you wanted the story to be somewhat coherent. It's just, I don't know.
I would say, I think that'd be my superpower, the jumper superpower, if I could pick one.
That
That
would
is
be
pretty
fucking
cool.
sweet. Yeah,
Never have to deal with an airport ever again.
yeah, the whole time you're watching the movie, you're like, yeah, that'd be nice.
Does he like take people with him as well?
I don't know if he ever
No,
did.
he can take things with him, though.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
obviously, because he takes his clothes and stuff. Yeah, I think he can jump with people.
Interesting.
if they
that would
jump
probably
in
be-
while he jumps.
If he can just like
grabs him.
hug him or something and jump with him, I think. Oh, yeah, he jumps with the bully the one time and puts him in the bank safe and then leaves him there
Oh
overnight.
yeah.
But yeah. I mean, it's Jumper.
Sure.
Fantastic.
That's all.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all I got to say. Well, then I guess we'll go ahead and move into video game news.
Ooh, what's in the news?
I hope it's a lot because this is the only time I ever get it.
I know, right? Is Bobcat still alive?
Bobcat Goldthwait's still alive.
Oh, thank God.
As of recording. I have a couple news pieces, and I have a bunch of video game news releases. Which one do you want to hear first?
The less funny one.
Okay, then we'll talk about the serial stuff, which is apparently Microsoft is accusing Sony of blocking games from Game Pass.
How?
They're saying that PlayStation is preventing developers from adding games to the subscription service by paying them money or threatening them.
Well, that sounds like capitalism at its best.
Oh, that sounds like don't go on Game Pass if you want your game on our platform. Isn't that like the whole battle back and forth bullshit? They're doing capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It'd just be like, hey, you can publish with us and you could put your game on PlayStation, but the deal is you can never put your game on Game Pass.
Yeah, it sounds like something.
It sounds like something Microsoft would do.
It's going to be like a clause in most contracts now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft's just pissed they didn't do it first.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying it's great either way. It's just not really surprising.
No, I don't see how there could be legal ramifications for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like they're breaking legs and shit, are they? Maybe.
I hope
Who
so.
knows?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on out west. You know, it could be anything.
It's like the Wild West.
It's like, here's a picture of your kid with today's newspaper. Don't go on fucking Game Pass.
Awesome.
We know where your kid goes to school.
And then here's a piece that we're going to throw it back a little bit. Destiny 2 news.
What?
I just thought this was really funny, and I wanted to get your guys' takes. There is a person that makes cheats for Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard of this.
They are going to subpoena Valve, PayPal, and others in a legal fight against Bungie, believing that they should be able to make the aim junkies cheat for Destiny 2.
How do they expect to win that?
I don't know. They're claiming that aim junkies had their copyright infringed.
I don't. It's blocking. Is it because they're blocking people from using it?
So originally, Destiny Bungie, they sued this person to stop selling cheats. And their whole case for the suit was saying that their software caused harm.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Seems like it'd be possible.
And then I think that got thrown out of court.
Okay.
So then now they're firing back and saying that, well, they don't really have any legal ground to stand on. I just thought the balls of a cheat maker being like, no, I should be allowed to sell things that make people cheat at the game you made.
Yeah. And I should be allowed to do it ramification free. Yep.
So it looks like they're going to go to arbitration, but I just think that's just wild.
Yeah. Balls on this guy.
Right? And then also there was news released that the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller is going to be coming
shit.
out.
Ooh, can't wait to drop $200 on that, baby.
Ugh, I'm going to do it, which sucks.
I know, me too.
I still haven't found
I'm waiting for the colored versions.
You can buy a PS5 right now at PlayStation.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, so stop fucking saying you're waiting.
Well, no, I didn't say that. Now I don't think it's worth the $500.
That's just dumb.
So what would you say to someone who now owns two of them?
I had it $1,000.
I had it in my cart, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
I had it in my cart, and I said, what the fuck am I doing? And then I saw, hey, you can spend $50 for the pink cover. And I'm like, yep, sold. And then I bought it.
I don't know. I thought I had it in my cart, and I looked at it, and I'm like, there isn't even a game I'd play on it.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
You play Ratchet and Clank.
That's the only one. It's
well,
not
then
worth $500.
don't fucking say it's not a game.
I said it's not worth it.
I did also purchase Ratchet and Clank. I got it for free with the credit card points from PlayStation.
Nice.
Gotta give that a shot eventually. But yeah, I'm gonna buy this controller. I'm gonna say I'm not going to, and I'm gonna say there's no point, and I'm gonna say it's way too expensive, and then I'm just gonna buy it. That's just what's gonna happen. I'm comfortable with who I am now.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to happen.
I'm not fucking worried about dropping $2 on a controller.
I remember when the first one, the DualSense, came out, and they're like, it's gonna be $70 fucking bucks, and I'm like, you guys are out of your fucking mind. If you think I'm gonna spend $70 on a controller, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
5 controllers later,
Jesus.
I ate those words real good.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I bought that other place. Now I have 6. I have 6 controllers.
That doesn't count, buying a whole PlayStation.
Do you want one? I don't need 6 of them. That's just ridiculous.
I don't know if I need a new one.
At most, you need 2.
But I'll take one if you're giving them away. I mean,
Yeah, at most you need 2. And that's if you have friends that visit you and want to play.
Well, I'm thinking if you play for long enough for your controller to die.
yeah, just to recharge.
Friends to play?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That
We need
was
4
ridiculous.
at that point.
So, yeah, mine dies pretty much every day.
Yeah, every time I play for a couple hours, it's low battery by the time I turn it off. So I have to
Every time I play for a couple of hours.
Yeah, no, it really is like that.
Well,
if you
I
put
mean,
on,
They used to last like a couple days doing that, you know?
I don't know if mine ever did. It was be like,
Oh, PS4 controller did.
oh, PS4, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, plus the PS3 ones, give me a break. Those things lasted like a week.
Yeah, they were wired right into the thing.
No, that was
The
2.
2 was, yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab a controller off the charger. I'll play for or I'll have my PlayStation on. I'm not exactly playing for 4 straight hours.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it's like 1 bar. And if I
Yeah.
try to play the next day, I'll get like 2 hours, and it'll say you need to charge this.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like it goes really fast.
I honestly think PlayStation 4, I've had maybe once or twice a controller completely died on me, and it like stopped the game and went back to
Yeah.
PlayStation. Man.
Yeah.
It fucking happens all the time on PlayStation 5. It's happened like 10 times so far.
I hear you, bro.
But anyway, let's get into new video games that are coming out, because Gamescom happened, and a lot of shit is now coming. And I think
Ooh.
the biggest game that we're all excited for, we're going to all pre-order, Killer Clowns from Outer Space is coming on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
I'm listening.
What's it like?
Yeah, that's what I want to
If it's an RPG, I'll play it.
It's not an RPG, but holy fuck do I want a goddamn Killer Clowns from Outer Space RPG.
Oh, you get to pick your own clown?
It is, okay, I don't know. Let me read this for you.
If it's like a fighting game, I'm not going to get it.
It's not fighting. It's going to be the Cult 1988 B movie is being transformed into a 7v3 competitive online experience. I know. I'm not buying it now either. Where you'll either need to team up with pals as either killer clowns or hapless humans.
That's dumb.
Yeah, because at most, I could be the 3 killer clowns. I don't think I could find more than 2 friends.
I know. When are they
Okay.
going to stop making these kind of games?
I'm going to say, don't buy it for you guys, you two. I'm not telling anybody what to do with their money, but
obviously.
you guys don't buy it, but just check out the trailer on YouTube because it looks fun as shit.
I will.
I'm not saying you should still buy it, but it does.
Is
look
it
fun.
just like Dead by Daylight or games like that, but with clowns?
Yeah, the what do they call it? Multilateral multiplayer, like
Yeah,
Back 4
something
Blood,
like
that whole
like
thing.
Left
Yeah,
4 Dead, yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing. Which I'm fine with those games existing, but you got to make it so I can
not.
at least enjoy it by myself.
Yeah, it's got to be playable. Now, you need fucking 10 people to do it.
I want to go back and play more Evil Dead. I heard there was another patch
Yeah.
that made the game a little bit easier because it was brutally difficult by yourself. But I still, I'm not rushing to play it. And I love that. That game is fucking cool as shit, but it's multilateral. And I'm like,
Yeah, I hear you.
Plus, that game is kind of bullshit because there was levels and stuff you have to do that are pretty not impossible, but extremely difficult to do by yourself without team members. So you need people to play.
Yeah.
That's such bullshit.
I agree. But you'll also be happy to know that Dead Island 2 has finally gotten a release date.
I already thought there was 2 Dead
Wasn't
Island
there?
games.
That's a fair
Dead Island
question.
Riptide.
Yes, there
and-
was Dead Island and then Dead Island Riptide, and now this is the second installment, the number 2.
Dead Island 2.
Comes out February 3rd, 2023, and it had been in development hell for about a decade, they said.
I might play that. I like Dead Island.
I did too.
I don't know. I
really
tried
enjoyed
playing it again and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, but that's like all games like that, where the story's not great, and you don't feel like doing all the fucking missions again.
It's just one of those games. Dead Island was one of those games where it came out, and I'm like, this looks fun enough, and I played it, and I enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't know if it wasn't a super memorable, amazing video game experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wouldn't make my top 10 of the last 20 years, or top 20 even, but it was fun.
Yeah, I hear that.
And then NHL 23 finally got news and has a release
Oh,
date.
thank
I know
Christ.
everybody. Well, it's going to be
Who's on
so
the cover?
hard, guys. Trevor Zegras and Sarah Nurse from Team Canada. First time a woman's on the cover, so that's pretty big.
Ooh, I'm gonna get signed by her.
You don't even know who she is.
I'll find out.
And yeah, it's coming out, unfortunately for me. I mean, guys, my October's going to be busy because it comes out the same day as Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2K23.
Man, postpone the wedding.
I know, right? Yeah, I'll be busy.
You didn't tell me what you thought of my audition.
Oh, Jesus.
You're right. I didn't.
It was something.
I've got more notes. Yeah, I'm still processing it.
All right.
And then also in video game news, there's going to be a new Tales from the Borderlands on October 21st.
I heard that.
Yeah, I heard a while ago, but now I guess they got a date for it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I feel like I'm Borderlands out from all the Borderlands I've done in my life.
I know. I figured like I wanted to play the new fucking Borderlands, but I don't.
The Tiny Tina one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
It's the three of us combined played Borderlands 2 for like, I'm going to be conservative and say 6 years combined. We played it.
I played
Sounds right.
I played Borderlands 1 for about 2 years before I played Borderlands 2 for 3 years, 6 years.
We played the fuck out of those games, and by the time Tiny Tina came out, all three of us are like,
Yeah.
You're also forgetting all the time we played Borderlands 3.
Yeah, true.
There was a lot of that too. I didn't even play the DLC. It got me. I
Neither
had
did I.
Borderlands fatigue before that came out.
Yeah, I played some of them.
I think I might have paid the first DLC for it, but
Yeah.
and Borderlands is fantastic. It's just
Such a. But yeah, that's all I got for video game news / stuff. How about we get into it? How about we get into this amazing game?
all right. Tell us where we're going.
Do it already.
Lead us on our journey.
The game we're talking about, as you can tell by the episode description, is called Rule of Rose.
Whoa, this one's for you, Doug.
Yeah, what's
And
up,
Skeeter?
Doug?
Patty Mayonnaise.
Insanely expensive game if you try to find it.
Yeah, I saw it. That's like what it's known for.
Yeah, it's like one of the holy grails of PlayStation.
So you
2
bought it,
collectibles.
Poppascotch?
No, I'm not about to drop. I think the cheapest one I saw that was used was like 600, 550, 600.
I saw one.
But you bought another PlayStation.
I saw
I know, right?
a Japanese version for $260 on eBay.
Well, those are a lot more available.
Yeah, I guess it
Yeah.
came out in January 19th, 2006 in Japan, and then 9 months later in North America. So apparently they weren't sure if it would fly in North America, so they were very limited. It was a very
Well,
limited
they
run.
also weren't allowed to sell it in Europe and the PAL.
Was it banned or was it just tried to be banned?
I'm pretty sure it's banned. That's why it's rare.
That's a good question. But number one song in the country on January 19th, 2006. This is one I don't think I've ever heard this song.
Pharrell Happy?
Oh, 2006. You're not allowed to say unless it's 2012. That's the year.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
All
Or
right.
is it 2014? It might be.
Whatever. It's close. It's
Anything
not
with a
2006.
Yeah, anything before 2010, I won't say it.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that.
I'm just the only clue I have is there's a lyric that says rob the jewelry store and tell them make me a grill.
Gold Digger.
No, but I appreciate you trying for the third
I
week.
have no idea, sir.
It's Grills by Nelly featuring Paul Wall, Ali, and Gip.
Paul Walker.
Paul Wall.
Yes. Rest his soul.
Paul Wall, isn't there also a Paul Wall that plays basketball? There's two Paul Walls, right?
I don't know.
There's a
I
wall.
didn't even know there was one.
There's a wall, Paul.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, right.
All right, and then the number one movie in the country, it's a sequel to a vampire versus werewolves franchise.
No idea what you're talking about.
Twilight.
No, but good guess.
Underworld.
What's the sequel? What's the sequel?
I have no idea.
Rise of the Lycan.
No, I think that's the third one. Underworld Evolution.
Ah,
number
yes,
two.
yes.
And then this day in history, January 19th, 1951, Joseph Stalin proclaims the Soviet Union has the atomic bomb. Were they telling the truth?
We'll
Who
never
knows?
know.
Anyway, it was released for PlayStation 2, developed by Punchline, published in Japan by SCEA, Sony, and then published by Atlas Group in the USA.
Atlas usually makes great games.
I hear this is a good one.
Single player survival horror. Chump Slap, you picked it, so lead us into this extremely confusing narrative and tell us what it's all about.
Doug picked it, and
Thanks, Doug. I mean, overall, it was a positive experience. I'm glad Doug showed us this.
yeah, I never even knew about it, and it's pretty interesting.
No.
So, let's say the game starts with a bunch of flashes of what happens later in the game, and then it goes to the intro. And there's a woman named Jennifer. She's riding on a bus. This little boy comes up. He's like, "Here, read this story." So she
What a
reads.
little shit.
She reads the story, and the kid runs off the bus. And she's like, "Get
Sprints.
the fuck back here!"
He
I'm co-"
runs off that bus.
Yeah. So she gives chase.
Wait, first off, if that ever happened to you, would you chase after the kid?
No,
Neither would I.
I might throw the book back out the window. Here you go.
In the garbage is where it would go.
The garbage on the bus, so he definitely is never going to see it
Yeah.
again.
Boom. So the bus leaves. Oh, and now she reads the story. And it's about a little girl whose parents die. She loses her best friend, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, that's weird. So now she's at this mansion or like large building. She doesn't know what it is. She walks around to a rickety shed. She finds a dog collar and she finds a boarding pass that looks like it was written by a child. So she's like, okay, I'll hold on to this, I guess.
Yeah. This seems like it might be relevant.
Yeah. And then the boy shows up again. She starts following him again. Just like a fucking real weirdo.
Yeah.
And the kid brings her to this house. There's a bunch of kids in paper bags beating the shit out of a fucking bloody sack. And you're like,
yeah, really going to town on that.
Yeah.
I had a nickel.
It was very disturbing. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go into this fucking creepy ass house and find out what these weird ass kids are doing. So she goes in. She finds a creepy doll that's tied to a pillar in something called the filth room.
You don't have a filth room?
I
No.
assumed
Should
that
I?
was a translation thing. Like a mud room.
A mud room is right inside the door before you
Yeah.
get into the house. This was in the basement. I think it was just a room where they kept all the cleaning supplies and shit.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I gathered from the rest of the story later on. But the boy's in this house, so she's still following him around. She doesn't say a word. Maybe she says something, but it's not in the English version. And she follows him to the attic, and he's on some weird fucking like altar thing. And there's all these candles burning. It's a very big fire hazard. And he's like, read the fucking book. So you're reading the book, and then there's this part about a funeral. You're like, what the fuck, a funeral? And boom, the boy disappears. So you're like, okay. You go outside. There's a grave there. You're digging it up. There's a coffin.
Which is the first thing I do when I see graves.
Yeah, because she's like, the kids must have buried that bloody fucking sack in there, and I want to know what the fuck's in
Could
it.
be another kid. Someone's got to look into this.
Yeah.
Let's not call the cops.
So she's digging up this grave. Kids come over. They pour water on her. Like, why didn't she stop them? Why didn't she fucking stand up and smack them or anything? I don't know. She's getting bullied by a bunch of children here.
Yeah, that is a common theme in this game.
Yes, she's very non-confrontational, let's say.
Which I
Until
think
she
that
has
was
to fight things.
Yeah. Well, we'll discuss theories later.
Yeah. So they pour water on her, and then there's a flight announcement, like the flight is going to take off now, blah, blah, blah. Kids push her into the coffin that she fucking dug up, close it, and they start walking it somewhere. And I guess she passes out when she's in the coffin. Because then she comes to, and she's tied to a pole in the middle of a room.
I was so fucking confused.
Oh, it's very confusing.
Like, I didn't understand anything. I had to go read the wiki, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it made a little more sense.
Yeah.
But, man. It was
Yeah, there's a lot of newspaper clippings and journal entries that weren't in the video that I watched that you can read. That give you a whole backstory that wasn't in the video.
Yeah.
But I'll get to that later.
Okay, good.
So she's tied to a pole. She hears a voice over the PA, and it's like, hey, you got to find a gift for the Aristocrat Club.
The Aristocats.
The Aristocat Club. Every month or you'll die. And you're like, okay, that's weird. And apparently it's the voice of the boy that she was following. And he's quote unquote the prince of this aristocrat club. Fucking A. God damn it, Syintist.
He's in your head now.
I know. So she goes to this weird door.
I actually called it the Aristobrat Club.
Oh, noise. Snap, you got him.
Got
did.
it. Good.
So she goes to this door, and there's the Aristocrat Club.
The red.
Let's just call them the club.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, sure.
There's a box there, and it's asking for a butterfly, and then she can get inside to the club. So she's like, okay, I'll fucking look around this airship that she just happens to be on now and find a butterfly.
Yeah, I the first time I was watching this, I didn't pick up that she wasn't in the mansion anymore. So imagine my confusion.
Yeah, me too. Well, she wakes up in the fucking room tied to the pole. You're like, oh, that must be the filth room, right?
That's what I assumed at first, yeah.
Yeah. And while she's walking around, she notices, she looks outside, and she's like, holy shit, we're above the clouds, we're flying.
Yeah, I got it. Well, obviously I understood something was strange at that point.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, how fucking big is this mansion?
Yeah, it's pretty big. And then,
Didn't make sense, but
I don't know, you just teleport back and forth through this whole fucking game. You eventually find a fucking butterfly. You run into a bunch of kids. There's a crying girl. There's a weird ghoulish looking kids. I think they're called imps. They have like no facial features and they're all white, and you kill one of them with a fork right here. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what they call them in the lore, I guess. The apes.
And you run into this weird silent dude, and he gives you a book about clovers or something. There's a whole bunch of these storybooks, handwritten, drawn storybooks that they're the levels, I assume. You have to do the things in them, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like
That's what I got. So she's walking around, and she finds a fucking dog all tied up and hung from the ceiling. Very fucked up, weird shit. She cuts it down, frees him. He becomes her new companion, Brown, because she gives him the collar she found back in the whatever. And he helps find shit, like points you in the right direction, all that jazz. And you find some more random ass kids. You find some keys.
some random ass kids.
Well, pretty much. Find this one chubby little girl named Amanda.
Bitch.
She's got a butterfly, and she's like, "Ooh, it's my butterfly. I'm going to the club." And then you find another butterfly, so you go to the club too. You're both in line for the club.
Okay.
And there's a part here where she meets a maid, and the maid's like yelling at her, so she just runs away. And then later on, you see flashes of the maid getting beaten to death by these fucking imps and shoved under her bed.
Yeah, you sure do.
It's really weird, and I don't know if you have to fight those imps or something, but well, actually, yeah, I do. They do come out with brooms, and you have to fight a whole bunch of them. It was very strange and kind of disturbing. Anyway, back to the room. You get into the club room because you finally had a pretty enough butterfly or whatever.
Yeah, you need that birdie butterfly.
And all the kids in the club start bullying you. And they start chanting for this Amanda girl to poke your face with a rat on a stick.
Yeah. Yeah, Chump Slap's 100% correct. That is what happened. I know that sounds ridiculous, but nope.
No, it happened.
What happened?
And if you get poked in the face enough, apparently you pass out. So there's a lot of passing out and waking up parts of this. She wakes up, she's back in the room, and there's only the boy there. And he's asking her, he's like, "You remember anything yet? Because once you remember everything, the game's over." And it's like, okay. So now I know what I'm supposed to do in this game is remember shit.
Which is usually important part of the game is, having an objective or a goal.
Yeah.
This game's like, yeah, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
It's like, here you go. Now you have to remember. So now you're starting to put pieces together here. So now it's like May. It started in March. Now it's May. Okay. So this Amanda leaves you a note. She's like, "Hey, meet up with me. I want to say sorry, blah, blah, blah." And someone sees her saying sorry to you, so they fucking start picking on her. And you find a book. You have to find a rabbit. Now there's a whole rabbit fucking quest. And once you find the rabbit, it's in a bloody sack. And the headmaster becomes like a boss here. He's all tied up. He's got his hand in his mouth, and he's got fucking like chains all around him. Very strange looking, but it looked like a cool fight. I don't know.
Yeah, the bosses were pretty cool.
Yeah, the bosses were cool. Everything I read said the actual combat sucked ass, though.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the original Silent Hill had left a lot to be desired, too. But it was still a great game.
Yeah. So you beat him up, you get the fucking rabbit. It's the next thing to get into the club. So you go to this club room, you open the door, and all of a sudden you're in like the middle of the woods. There's a weird fucking ceremony going on. And now everyone's chanting, "Jennifer, Jennifer." So you have to take the stick with the rat on it and poke Amanda in the face.
Yeah.
Get some fucking payback, dude. So you do
Otherwise,
that.
you're not one of the cool kids if you don't do it.
It's so true. So you do that, and then you see the stick, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's a maggot-infested rat. That rat must have been dead for a while now." Gross. So
I mean, I don't want to be hitting a stick with a face.
no, and so Jennifer passes out again. Wakes up in this room, just the boy there again, and he's like, "You got these 3 storybooks. Choose them." I don't think it matters what order you choose them or anything, but there's stories. One of them's about a bird of happiness. One's about the goat sisters. And there's another one about mermaid princess. Now, in the bird, It's about like just abusive kids fucking with other children and killing their pets. Like one of them, they kill a bird. The second one, I don't know, but there's a dead goat and a grandfather clock. Very strange shit. And Jennifer gets thrown in a large onion bag, and all the kids eagerly line up to throw bugs in there just to fuck with her.
Oh, yeah. That was gnarly.
Yeah. So she's just going through all this shit where it's memories of what these aristocrat club kids are doing fucked up things to these other kids, and they're blaming the lower rung of the club.
Yeah.
This right here, I specifically have a note that says, what the fuck is going on here?
That's what this is. It's all these terrible things that the club did and then blamed the lesser caste in the club for. What, like I don't remember the goat thing, but the mermaid princess is like somebody steals a fish and then sews it to half a fucking doll, and then you have to fight a mermaid that's hung from the tail over a bed.
I just have in my notes that the dead goat in a clock had a piece of a letter. So I guess it was just like a puzzle piece.
Yeah, you're finding all these pieces of puzzles, and then you put it together, and it finishes the storybook. That's what the whole levels are.
Yeah, these 3 levels together.
Yeah. So this is all weird memories that she has, well, that she's reliving through this weird... The whole thing's a dream sequence.
Well,
kind of, or whatever. I don't think they actually go into it, but I don't know.
And I think the book is like, when you look at the books that are made, they're all like handmade out of like pieces, just plain pieces of paper stapled together. But they all are made that way. They're all part like trying to tie this whole thing together.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of those actually exist. Maybe the first one does, but the rest, I think she's just filling in.
I think they all exist.
I think they're just all her memories, man.
See, that's the thing. I could easily make an argument that they don't, and you could easily make an argument that absolutely they do.
Yeah, I read something that I saw.
Confusing.
I watched a video that tried to explain the game, and during the wiki reading, they say the books are made by Gregory.
Yeah,
the big
that's what
guy.
I read too.
Yeah,
but were they all of them, or just a couple, or?
I don't know. I don't know if these books that she's finding now, or if these are just whatever. So she does all this shit, and now it's June, and she wakes up off the ship in the middle of a rose garden.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So she walks around. She finds some dude in the house, and he's got a gun up to his head. He's about to kill himself. And then he's like, oh, come with me. Throws her in the basement bedroom and locks her in there and starts calling her Joshua. And then this Wendy girl comes to the window and frees Jennifer. And apparently while you're in that room, you find all these letters between Wendy and Joshua. Blah, blah, I don't know. It's a whole... Here's what you find out. Joshua is this man Gregory's son, and he dies of some type of disease or whatever. So Gregory's fucking destroyed because Joshua was the only person he had,
Makes sense.
And he kidnaps Jennifer as a child because Jennifer is in. Oh my god, this is the whole story.
Yeah, no, just do it because it's not going to make sense if we just keep piecing this together.
Jennifer's family is well off, rich, and they're on this fucking airship. The airship crashes. Jennifer's the only survivor as a child. This is, I don't know, dozen years ago or so.
And realize they have airship money.
Yeah. Well, it's a very extravagant, nice looking airship, I guess. I don't fucking know. But she's crashed. She's the only survivor. Gregory finds her and kidnaps her and keeps her locked in the basement as his son's, like, pretends it's his son.
Yeah. Like a surrogate or something like that.
Yeah, calls her Joshua, dresses her up like a boy, all that shit. Mm-hmm. And she develops a relationship with this Wendy girl who comes and like they pass notes back and forth. It's a whole love thing.
Sure.
And Wendy eventually breaks her out and goes to the orphanage because Wendy lives at the orphanage, and the orphanage is like right next door to this guy's house. So they go to the orphanage, and that's how she becomes an orphan that lives at the orphanage when she's a kid.
I also thought it was weird that the Wikipedia or one of the entries I read started as she's a 19-year-old orphan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all you think about when you think of orphan, right?
Well, I mean, you're an orphan for life.
Yeah, that's true, but...
It's true. It's still weird, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're 65 and both your parents finally pass away, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm an orphan.
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, it has to happen when you're a kid, I guess.
Technically, you are. It's just very strange.
Yeah.
But that's not here nor there.
No.
We're not talking about the definition of orphan right now.
No. We're talking about when Wendy comes to break Jennifer out of the basement, and they're like, you know what? We should go steal his gun so he can't kill himself. So they do.
I don't get that thought process.
They didn't want him to hurt himself. They didn't know what he did was so weird and ridiculous at this point, I guess. I don't know.
I guess she's like a little kid. She probably
And she just got
processed it differently.
It was a traumatic experience. She lost her whole family in a fucking airship accident.
Maybe she's like, I guess this is what happens when you lose both your parents. You get abducted
She has
into a
no
basement.
idea. You get abducted and called Joshua.
No frame of reference here. They just change your name and shove you in a basement.
Yeah. So then after that whole deal, she's back in the airship in that weird room with the boy. And he's just like, I don't know, he says something here, whatever. So, oh yes. Back when she's in the basement of the guy's house, there's a teddy bear there that she gives to Wendy and she trades it for a brooch or whatever. And Wendy calls the bear Joshua because that was her. It's either because that was her name or because Wendy actually knew Joshua before he died. I don't know.
Or we're just naming shit everything Joshua because the little kid was named Joshua, which I guess that was the ghost of Joshua.
That makes sense now, huh? I guess.
Sort of.
Yeah. But anyway, she's back on the airship and now to get into the door, she needs to find the teddy bear.
Yeah, because they lost the bear.
Yeah, because Wendy's all upset. The bear's gone. So, she finds the bear because this Amanda chick stole it and tried to blame it on Jennifer.
Amanda really is the worst.
She's a piece of shit.
She sucks. Fuck that kid.
Yeah. And if she finds the bear, she'll get a red crayon, which levels her up, and she can become a real aristocrat.
Leveling up's an important part of a girl's life.
Mm-hmm. So she finds the bear, she goes to the club, and they're all like, fucking hats off to you, lady. And they tie her up, and they color her with crayons. They shove crayons in her mouth. And then she passes out again because this is traumatic for her. It'd be traumatic for any one of us, really. Because actually she's getting tied up by imps in this part. It's not the kids anymore for some reason. And she wakes up back in the orphanage. This is November now. And it's back to kind of like the beginning. Because this is the funeral that they're talking about.
But you start just like you did when, like, just wake up again tied up in the filth room.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the filth room, but you know how to get out.
But there's a couple, like, resets to this, and yeah.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make it clear.
No. So she's walking around the orphanage, and she just keeps getting ignored by all the kids. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? Am I a ghost? Why isn't anyone talking to me? And then every time I think she's looking for Wendy at this point, or her dog, because the dog's missing. But every time she goes to talk to a kid and they don't talk to her, she turns away and she gets pegged in the back by a fucking little crumbled up note. And pretty much the notes are all like, fuck off, die. You suck.
Yeah, they kept saying, I don't know if it was a translation thing or just they really wanted to emphasize this, but they kept calling her like the unlucky girl. It was in like all the notes, everything in here. And I desperately tried to find meaning in that somewhere. And I think it's just like, oh, this poor unlucky girl situation.
They say she's unlucky and alone. They say it all the time.
Yeah. And everything that happens in the entire story, she just ends up unlucky and alone.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole nother part to the aristocrat club that said, if you don't do what they ask, the way they'd kill you is by sticking this thing called stray dog on you, which is a monster that Wendy made up.
If you don't do your
If you don't do what, if you don't offer them the gifts, there's. So she gets pushed down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. She goes, and now this got weird here. I didn't understand. The aristocrats kidnapped her dog and killed it. Mm-hmm. And that's what the whole funeral was about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So she she finally puts that together, that was her dog when she was a kid. Because we find out, later, she finds the dog whatever. But they put the dog in a sack, beat it to death. And they did this because Wendy was feeling jealous that Jennifer was always with the dog and not with Wendy anymore. Because Wendy loved her or whatever, kid shit. And they decided that if she stole the dog and killed it, that Jennifer would come back to the club and be the princess or the prince. I don't know which one she was. But once Jennifer finds out that that's the dog, she beats the shit out of Wendy. Wendy cries, runs away.
Yeah, she starts slapping people at this point. Yeah. I'm like, Finally.
It was about time.
Yeah, really.
I mean, yeah, she's been fighting people the whole game, but still, at this point, I was like, fucking awesome.
So she beats Wendy. Wendy disappears. She just runs out the orphanage. All the other kids are like, okay, sorry. How about you become the leader of the aristocrats? We need somebody to guide us, lead us on. And they're like, we need a new game. This whole stray dog thing that Wendy made up was bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And before Jennifer could even say anything, one of the kids looks out the window like, oh my God, Wendy's back. So they look out the window and Wendy's walking with fucking Gregory from before, the guy.
Sure.
So apparently Wendy goes, pretends to be Joshua, fucks with Gregory's head, turns him into this fucking monster, and convinces him to come to the orphanage and threaten the kids. But when he gets to the orphanage, he kills all the children except Jennifer. He kills the fucking everybody at the orphanage.
So what? Okay, no, just wrap it up.
All right, yeah. We're almost there. Hold on.
We'll get to questions after.
So, yeah, Wendy came back with Stray Dog. She's dressed like Joshua. Stray Dog kills everybody. You have a fight, boss fight, Jennifer and Stray Dog. You eventually get him down enough where he thinks Jennifer's Joshua, and you offer the gun to him. He kills himself. I don't know if it's because he figured out what happened. He had a moment of lucidity or whatever. But then there's a little section after that where there's a flashback to Jennifer finding the puppy.
Right.
And that's the fucking end of the game, I think.
So, okay, fine. My first question.
Right.
When Gregory killed all these people, was that real?
Yes, in the past. Because that's the whole, now she's got this survivor syndrome now from two different very traumatic events in her life.
Yeah. I mean, she's the definition of an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Like she really, because we're going through this whole story, and a lot of the real weird fantastical parts, it was the headmaster and she was defeating him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was obviously modeled off of him in some kind of fucking Silent Hill universe. And that was her way of processing the trauma.
Right.
Or how she remembers it, or how real it felt to her when she was a kid. But my problem, I just couldn't figure out what was real versus what was just her living in a memory.
Yeah, I know. It was very... did she really...
Pretty sure it all happened.
Did she cut a fish in half and sew it to a doll? And then blame that other girl for it?
I don't see why not.
Did she really join the club? And I think the crayon part was real because they were talking about the red crayon and
yeah,
that was how you got into the club.
From what I understand, Jennifer and Wendy started the club, and they were princess and prince.
Mm-hmm.
Was Wendy the head bad chick, the bad girl?
No, she was
in red.
No, she wasn't the one who was through the whole story. You know what I'm talking about? The one that was always all sneaky looking and shit.
Right. Okay.
She just showed up at the end when she finally started remembering. Right. I don't know who the other girls were.
I think because I didn't hear any names. I think I just read in the wiki that the main evil girl that was orchestrating all the punishments and stuff, that was Diane.
Yeah. I don't know who she was, where she fit in.
So so in the timeline of the story, there was Jennifer being in a rich family.
Mm-hmm.
They get on the airship. The airship crashes and she's the only survivor. Then the guy that lives next to the orphanage, Gregory, who just coincidentally lost his son and is going through a bunch of stuff, kidnaps her, or claims her, takes her, whatever, and then raises her to be Joshua.
It's only a couple months here.
Okay, so it's only a couple months. Yeah. She's quote unquote Joshua.
Right.
So then Wendy breaks her out.
Yes, I don't know if that's the part. I don't know if Wendy and Joshua, the actual Joshua, had a relationship for a while, and she just thinks it's Joshua, or
it could be that Gregory was just an asshole, and even with his real Joshua, he just shoved him in the basement.
Yeah.
So now it's just another kid's in the basement now.
Right.
And Wendy's a little kid, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and this one wants to get out, so she helps her out or whatever.
Oh, that might explain why Wendy turns on her, because it's you're not the Joshua who is my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Because she's not, literally.
Right.
She's a different person.
And that's why she calls the teddy bear Joshua, because it's that's more Joshua than you.
And then, so Jennifer gets busted out or gets out from Gregory, and then lives at the orphanage for a while?
Yeah, just out of the blue, they allow her in the orphanage. They don't try to find her parents or anything.
I gotta imagine that just kids show up at their doorstep.
It was
and they're like,
1930, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
You think there's a lot of paperwork and bureauccy involved?
Yeah, I doubt it. You're right.
They were
Because
barely writing stuff down.
this headmaster was a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
then when Gregory found out, he went to the orphanage and fucking killed everybody.
Wendy fucked with him by pretending to be Joshua
Yeah.
and made him do that.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. That's good to know. That's a big piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, when they're like, "Hey, it's Wendy," she's walking back, and then they see it. They're like, "Oh my god, that is Stray Dog. He was real," because that was like their boogeyman.
Man.
Yeah, and she was dressed like Joshua, and then she takes off the wig, and she's like, "Hey, it's me,
And he's
Wendy."
like, hey, you're not Joshua.
Well, that was Wendy, and then Wendy gets
Yeah.
grabbed by. Oh, he's like, "Yeah, you're not Joshua," when he kills her. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it's
All right.
fucking wild. I think we got it, guys.
That's it. Yeah, that's the game. We did it. I think we got most of it. We got the highlights. So let's just go ahead and move into our final thoughts.
Let's fucking do it, man.
All right.
And you want to start, Dr. Scientist? You want to give this one a go?
Why don't you?
Okay, I'll go, but I don't remember what I'm supposed to answer here.
I got it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Did this game make you want to lay down a couple bills?
I should have just went.
Was the story pretty good, or was it hard to swallow pills? And out of 27 stars, where does this go on the hill?
Perfect. Poetry.
Thank you.
This one's tough because it's one of those games where if you play it and you read the journals, it probably makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it was confusing to some people.
I was confused by the whole video.
Oh, yeah, me
for
too.
sure. But yeah, because I had to read the wiki to try and piece together what the fuck was going on, and that did help a lot.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was pretty confused in what was happening. Because, I mean, I watched the video I knew nothing about this game at all going in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took everything literally. And
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is a weird vibe for a game, but cool. So was Silent Hill. This game looks sick. And then I'm going through, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So as I got into it, read the wiki, it made a lot more sense. But as I've set precedent before in the past, I'm not a big fan of games where I have no idea what's going on, and I can only understand it if I read all the lore in the game. So it's going to lose some points there.
Right. Okay.
But, God, what was our first question?
So do you want to play it?
Do I want to play it? Well, you said the combat was a mess. Yeah, I completely just blanked on our first
Something
question.
about the
fucking week.
bills.
Yeah, you want to
Something about bills.
to drop $300 on this game?
No. If I knew it might increase a lot in value, maybe, but no, probably not. But would I play it? I don't think so. There's just way too much newer, cooler stuff that I don't have time for. But I guess in an infinite timeline where I had nothing but time to play games, sure, I'd
Well, then
give it a
you'd
shot.
play
You play every game.
That's a good
It's
point.
infinite.
That's a real good point. If time didn't exist like it does here, I'd play every game that ever existed.
Yeah.
So this one in that list of every game that ever existed, this one's like closer to the top than the bottom, but still in that middle area.
All right. Fair.
Did the story work for me? Like I said, you got to read a lot of lore for this to make sense. So overall, I'm going to say no, but I really like that they made it fucking weird. I like that it was more like an art film. It was artistic. It was open to interpretation. I mean, we're still sitting here trying to figure out what was real and what wasn't, mostly me.
Yeah, just you.
So I don't think I can give it like a massive score like some of the other stuff we did, but I think it's respectable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with an 8. I think an 8's a fair number.
That's fair.
Out of 27 stars, of course, as we do every week.
Right.
So with that being said, now it's your turn, Dr. Scientist.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Scientist, did watching this video make you want to take this game at bat? Did the story work for you, or do we need to clean this shit up at the laundromat? What score out of 27 stars do you think you would give this game if you were a diplomat?
Every week, I don't
games.
think you can do any worse. And you
I
prove me
just
wrong.
keep surprising you.
Yep.
I never thought he'd use diplomat.
I know, right? I don't know where that came
I'm
from.
not even sure it made sense.
That doesn't have to.
Would I play it? Probably not. Not into these kind of games.
Right.
Did the story work for me? I think it was all right. I think the classic horror type of dealing with your trauma thing story.
Yeah. Seen it a million times.
Yeah. She's been through a lot, and she's an adult trying to go through and process it.
Kind of like The Park.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of other games we did
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
too.
That's the only one that popped in my head.
I can't believe you remembered that one.
I know. That's an interesting choice.
Because I did that one too. That was my choice.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, I mean, I was a little bit confused. Read the wiki. It makes more sense. I guess if they don't tell you that she actually lived through these things, that it kind of it's hard to determine what's going on. But it's because the video I watched didn't go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think the story is pretty good. I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she actually went through all this. Just
Yeah, we're led to believe she did.
yeah, which is I don't know why Poppascotch is confused, but it just, I mean, it's kind of almost ridiculous in a way that she's been through this much trauma.
So yeah, her fucking airship just so happens to land close or crash close to the worst.
Yeah, the
fucking
worst guy, and then she ends up at an
ever.
orphanage with a bunch of people who end up hating her and killing her dog, and
Right.
then some guy breaks in and kills everybody except her.
Yeah, right. And she knows the guy.
Yeah, yeah. It was the guy who kidnapped her.
Yeah. What are the odds? And then leaves her alive.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it was pretty good.
Sure. Sure.
But that's actually my only. It's too. I think if it was more
If it was just the
relatable,
orphanage.
if it was more relatable to people who are playing it and stuff. But I mean, how many people are gonna? I guess being orphaned and then an orphanage, but then also surviving a mass murder doesn't happen to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only problem with it. But otherwise, it was pretty decent. It's pretty fucked up. Crayons taste like shit. That would be the worst part.
The worst part. All right.
But
I like it.
compared to other games, I think it's better than the park, so I'll score it higher than it. I'll give it 9 stars,
Oh.
Oh, there you go. It's a 33%.
Damn.
which is
That's
pretty
kind of what
damn
we
good.
do here.
Right on.
Yeah, my confusion was really between, like, the whole thing was her processing trauma. So did she really find a fucking goat head in a clock, or was that just her way of processing? That's where my confusion
Yeah, she didn't fight a fucking real mermaid as a kid, so, you know.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
I do know that because
I mean,
they go into it.
then she would definitely be the most unlucky girl she had to play. Jesus Christ. All right, well then let's get to you there, Sir Chump Slap.
Vasa.
So I'll just try to make this quick. Did this video make you want to see the devil?
Oh, jeez.
Did the story work for you, or was it not on the level?
Nice.
And what score out of 27 stars you think would balance the bevel?
Do you know what a bevel is?
Nope, don't.
Isn't it like a rounded edge?
Yes, yeah.
I thought level, and I wanted to say level, and then I just said bevel.
Oh, yeah, level makes a lot more sense.
That makes a million times more sense than bevel.
All right. Do I want to play it? You know, I read somewhere they're thinking about remaking it. I'd play that. I wouldn't play this. A, because I don't have $300 to drop on a fucking Japanese version of a game.
That's true. Then you'd have to translate it. And oh, buddy.
Yeah. B, I'm not sure my PlayStation 2 even works anymore. But I might throw down on a fucking emulated version or something.
Okay.
Did the story work for me? Now, as far as what I could figure out, I guess it works. I mean, how did everyone die and she walks away unscathed on a fucking airship crash? I mean, it happens, but... And this poor guy who lost his kid. And I believe he's the one who wrote all these little books. And that's why she thinks in the books form. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he did write those books. I did read that.
Yeah, he wrote them for Joshua because he was dying or whatever. So
Yeah.
he was giving him stories. And the fact that apparently her and Wendy did all this fucked up shit to these kids. I mean, it makes sense because she was in this very traumatic situation and she's just dealing with it the only way she knows how as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really know she's the one doing it unless... I don't even know if she is the one doing it or if it's just something I put together or if Wendy's the total asshole. I don't know.
Yeah, how much was she the victim in that aristocrat club? That's...
Yeah, I don't know if she
Because
was
if you
the
just
victim
watch
or-
the video, she was tortured horribly by those other girls.
Yeah.
But then you find out she started it and was a princess in it?
Well, yeah, she was in it, and then when she got the dog, she kind of like fell off from...
Yeah, she stopped doing it. And then that whole ignoring thing actually happened when she was a kid because Wendy just, I don't know. Wendy's the real piece of shit here.
Okay,
So
fuck
when-
Wendy.
Yeah, so when she dies, you feel okay about it. But all the other kids die too, so. And apparently the quarter, what was his name? I want to say quartermaster, but that's not it. The guy in charge of the fucking orphanage.
Headmaster?
Headmaster, there we
Yeah.
thank you. There's a lot of hinting towards him molesting these children shit and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know that
He
one.
did not make their life easier.
No.
That's for sure.
Because there's a time when she opens the door and she sees him on a bed with a girl and she closes the door quick and then opens it again and it's a different room. And the way he's just touching some of them when he's talking to them and stuff, it's very fucking creepy. So all that's all strange. I mean, the whole fucking thing's just a wild fucking mind fuck. So I thought that was neat. And out of 27 stars, I'm gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna go one higher than you guys. And just because they tried something very strange. I don't even know if the story we put together is what they meant to do or not. Could be all lost in translation. Could be all weird. Mm-hmm. But they tried something really cool, and there's real fucked up shit going on here. And that's my jam. So 10.
Well, that gives us a score of 27, which is definitely on the higher end of this year. That's for damn sure.
Right?
Just to give you an idea of what kind of games are around that, we gave GTA Vice City a 23.
Oh, okay. Same game, really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't believe we got so close.
Dead Rising, we gave a 25.
Was that that was the zombie one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I mean, that's the only ones. Saints Row 2, we gave it 23.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's unique. It's a fucked up, weird game, and it's unique. So.
Absolutely. So, with that, now that we've discussed our final score, let's go ahead and move into our favorite segment of every week, which is Dr. Syintist 90s album Lock of the Week.
He's got the jam. He's got the jam of the 90s. Yeah. He's got it.
Every week, we
That was
ask Dr. Syintist
That was pretty good. I like that intro.
a 100% guaranteed amazing 90s album, and he's never let us down. This week, Dr. Syintist, what do you got for us?
We got an album released on September 24th, 1991.
Ooh, an early one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough one. I don't know if you guys know it.
10 years early.
Okay.
10 years early?
Yeah.
Oh.
September 11th.
One of the members of this group is dead now. But
Sublime.
when he before they recorded this album, he was only 19 and he was thinking about not pursuing his rap career.
Rap, you said.
Yes. And then one of the other members of this group found him on a train leaving Manhattan and said, "Yo, I'd like to see you on our next album, but you really got to take it serious." And then he kind of like woke up. He's like, "All right, I got to do this." And then they released one of the greatest albums in rap history.
A group.
Yes.
From New York.
And what was the NWA?
Hold on, I was going to give you more clues.
Nah, they're
from New York?
They're from fucking LA, dude. Or California. Compton.
All right, it was declared one of the greatest albums in rap history. Broke major ground and pushed the envelope, influencing many artists such as Mos Def, The Roots, Pharrell, Outkast, Kanye West, Common, D'Angelo, Logic, Kendrick Lamar, Nas, and Dr. Dre, who produced his solo debut album after being inspired by this one.
His solo debut.
Well, it was The Chronic.
Oh, I thought he produced.
No.
This guy.
No, he produced his own solo.
Okay. After being inspired by this.
Is it a group or an artist?
It's a group. Well, they're both the same. I mean,
Both the same.
well, I mean, an artist and a group can be.
Tony.
You got it. No. I think that was the 80s. Tony.
Biggie.
No.
Notorious B.I.G. No, that was way after.
You want the lyric? Because I don't know if you're going to get it even
let's
after. Oh my God, can I even say this? Can I get a hit? Boom, bit with a brother named and we're ready to flip. I didn't want to say his name because you might get it. East Coast stomping, ripping, romping, New York, North Kakalaka, and Compton. Check it out. The loops from the troops, more bonus to the ounce, and wow, now, brown cow.
What the fuck?
God damn.
I have no fucking idea.
The album is The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest.
I was gonna say that
Oh, we should have got that.
before.
It was hard to get a clue. Like I was trying to find trivia on it. And I was like, I'll just go on who did it influence. I was like, I don't know.
God damn it. I missed a point there. Easy
Well,
one.
my problem was when you were saying the influences, you just rattled off all the guesses I was going to do. Because, I mean, if it's New York, I think Nas, I think Biggie, I think maybe even the Beastie Boys, which was going to be my guess, but then you shut that down real quick.
But yes, it's a fantastic album. I remember finding it because I needed to fill out my Columbia Records order.
Oh, nice. When you ripped them off for a penny.
Yep.
You like stamp? It was like a stamp, right?
No, you had to tape a penny to the thing and then
send it in.
Mail it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to
then you got your 10 free albums.
Back when stamps were 25 cents.
I mean, for the time, that was still a deal.
Yeah.
It's a deal now.
Yeah, no shit.
10 albums for a penny, and then what was it? You had to buy like 3 in the next 3 years?
Yeah,
I think we all
like
went through Columbia House at some point, right?
Yeah, nobody's ever bought the other ones, right?
Yeah.
You just took those 10 free ones and sent does not live here or something. Undeliverable.
Oh, dude, I didn't do that. I just kept subscribing and then didn't have money to buy albums, so it would just keep pushing. And then eventually I'd forget to send the thing back, and whatever album got delivered.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had to send it back and decline the album.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Oh, dude.
But anyway, you should listen to Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. You really don't have to.
That was the first thing I did when I went to college was fill out one of those, get free discs. It was great.
Well, with that being said, the dope Tribe Called Quest album, The Low End Theory, let's go ahead and move into our favorite segment of every week, which is Chump Slaps. Who would win in a fight?
Ding, ding. Who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
Every week, we ask Chump Slap 3 who would win in a fight questions, one from the game we just talked about, one from gaming in general, and one from history or celebrity. This game, I don't think there's a pairing that's really great, so let's just say that the Headmaster versus Gregory.
Headmaster's a little bitch. He'd get his ass stomped if Gregory didn't, I don't know, feel sorry for himself and just not fight.
Yeah, I didn't want to do like kid v kid. That would've been...
Amanda's going to stomp everybody.
I mean, that was a softball. But you know what isn't a softball? This next one from gaming in general. Mm-hmm. Who would win between Pac-Man and Pikachu?
I assume Pikachu, but I don't know if Pac-Man picking up a power pellet would be able to eat Pikachu.
Pikachu's not a ghost type Pokemon.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah, otherwise, it's an easy Pikachu, but if the power pellet worked, I'd have to go with Pac-Man. Well, no, Pikachu's pretty fast, though, right? I have no idea.
There's only one person here that knows anything about Pokemon, and he's staying
not
silent.
answering, so let's go with Pac-Man.
No, that's a foolish answer.
Yeah, good for you. That's what you get for not telling me if Pikachu's fast or not.
So then,
he is.
From
He's a
celebrity,
mouse Pokemon.
Oh.
Really big heavyweight fight in the world of 90s solo artists.
Okay.
Sting versus Phil Collins.
What?
That's a tough one.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm going to say Sting.
Famously, Sting has endurance from all that tantric sex he's been talking about.
Yeah, but Phil Collins is pretty fucking cool.
He wrote Sledgehammer. I mean, and In the Air Tonight? Come on.
And he's been bald his entire life.
That's tough. That makes you harder.
It does. I'm going to go with Phil Collins. I'm sold.
There you go. Phil Collins would kick Sting's ass. Well, let's say someone had a whole bunch of fan fiction involving Sting and Phil Collins in whatever situation that maybe Chump Slap wants to read about. Where would they send that email to, Sir Chump Slap?
Well, you send that to plottytime@gmail.com. I'll read and respond, and also send some suggestions or whatever if you want.
Perfect. And if they want to get to us faster on the socials with maybe an explanation of what the fuck happened in this game, or if we were close or way off, where would they do that, Dr. Scientist?
At Plottytime on Instagram or Twitter, or stop by the subreddit and give us a picture of, I don't know, Poppascotch beating Bobby Fischer in chess.
With a chessboard.
Yeah, I didnd't mean like beating him in chess. Beating him with the chess.
Perfect. And then you can also go on to YouTube, like and subscribe there. It really helps us out. You can go to our storefront at plottytime.com, which redirects you to eBay, which is legit. That's fine. Buy stuff there.
It's totally fine. The mugs are pretty nice.
But that does it for us. So as always, shout out to Blaine J, Drago the Slago, Hamman, and our hero, Luis Guzman. Keep playing video games. Don't trust Dr. Scientist, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Peace.